What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about which mobility item is best, because with this week, we got the web shooters Unvaulted, and it is a new mobility item. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below which mobility item you think is best. And there also was a minor weapon balance update that we're going to get to later on in the video that just went live today. I just didn't think it was worth its own video. So the web shooter was added yesterday, and it works exactly as the web shooters did in Chapter 3, or the grapple gloves if you did play later on in Chapter 3. You basically attach to something when you use it, and then you can use it to swing yourself around the map. With the web shooters, you'll have 80 uses, so you'll be able to travel a decent amount with a single glove. And while they are great for getting around the map quickly, they aren't the best mobility for use in a fight, because if you get shot out while using this weapon, you just drop from where you were. If you were high enough, you will take fall damage, and the item goes on cooldown once you get shot out. So you could get stranded in a very vulnerable situation if you do get shot out when using this weapon. And it isn't that difficult to shoot somebody out that's swinging, because they do travel not really slowly, but it's like very fluid, the transition. It's like easy to see someone swinging and kind of be able to predict what their character is going to do to be able to shoot them. So as per usual, when it comes to these gloves, I think they're really good, but when there's other mobility items in the game that let you use your mobility without your opponent having a say in it, I do think those are better when you're actually in a fight. You know, if you want to reposition in a fight or reset a fight or maybe push an opponent after getting tags on them, the web shooter isn't the best for that, because if they shoot you while you're traveling to them or away from them, it just kind of throws everything you had off. One nice benefit of the web shooter is that you can use it to pull loot to yourself, which isn't the biggest deal ever, but it can be pretty helpful in some scenarios. It's kind of like fringe, like niche benefit. The ODM gear is also still in the game, and it has the main weakness of the web shooter. They both are very similar items in terms of how they work. You attach to something and then you swing, and then you attach to something else. But with the ODM gear, it has the same weakness, so if you get shot out, then whatever you had planned is just off the table. Your mobility item isn't usable for a little bit, and then also you have the potential to take fall damage. So it is risky using both the ODM gear and the web shooter, but one of the nice advantages that the ODM gear has is it has the attack ability, which you can use to break enemy cover. If you're using it just to push them, you can destroy bushes with it, you can destroy houses. Like the smash ability of this ODM weapon, not only is it a good weapon in terms of doing damage to the opponent, but as a way to engage a fight. Like if you get opening AR tags on somebody and then you are able to swing to them without getting shot out, you can attack them with it and destroy any cover they have, and then follow that up with your shotgun. But again, it has the main weakness of if your opponent shoots back, then it's a struggle, you know? And I feel like I really don't have to talk about the katana at this point. If you've played it all this season, you know that the katana is really good. And one of the reasons why I think the katana is better than both the ODM gear and the web shooter is the fact that you can use it and your opponent has no say in the matter. It doesn't matter if they shoot you. You're not taking fall damage, and your mobility isn't changed at all because of anything your opponent did. Like, you use your katana, you're going where you're going when you katana, unless you hit something on the way, obviously, but your opponent has no say in the matter. So if you want to push somebody after getting tags on them, it doesn't matter if they shoot you and hit you once. It's not like you're going to fall and take fall damage. It's not like your thing is going to go on cooldown in a different way than it would otherwise. It's just very consistent, the cooldown with the katana. Each use is 10 seconds, and it doesn't matter what the opponent does to you. I also feel like it's harder to shoot somebody that's katanaing than using the ODM gear or the web shooter. This could just be my own like personal preference, but I feel like it's very easy for me to get shots on somebody using the ODM gear or the web shooter, whereas the katana, they just kind of like teleport around. So if you don't already have, you know, good eyesight on them and know where they're going, it can be tough to predict. Where like usually if I hear somebody ODMing or web slinging, it's easier for me to predict where they're going to be or find them based off that audio than when somebody's katanaing. Like I can usually tell that somebody's using one around me, but where they go kind of depends where they're looking. So if you don't already have eyes on them, it can be tough to say. And I feel like the animation goes faster than the web shooter or the ODM gear once the person is actually in the air. There is that like initial ramp up period with the katana where it's slower, but I feel like it's just better. Like it's harder to hit them. I think it's faster, and it also like I said, even if you do shoot somebody that's getting like kataning, you didn't really stop them from pushing you or make them like cause fall damage or anything like that. So I feel like when it comes to repositioning in a fight, if you want to push somebody or get a different angle on them during a fight, the katana is just so much better. But when it comes to like just getting around the map mobility, if you want to go from point A to point B, I feel like the ODM gear or the web shooter is actually quite good for that. It's not like it's terrible. It's just not the best in like dangerous scenarios. And the way I kind of look at mobility or items in this game is I want the items that are good in the difficult scenarios. Like if I'm in a lobby where just nobody shoots at me at all for some reason, then sure, the web shooter would be fine. But if I'm playing against decent players, then I would just much rather have the katana. And it's not like the katana is bad against like the lesser players either. So I just typically, like I said, I like to take the things that I think are going to be good in the hard situations, because then it's usually good in the easy situations as well. So if I had to just choose one mobility item, I think it definitely would be the katana this season. But I think double mobility is actually extremely viable at the moment. Like using katana plus web shooter or katana plus ODM. You can kind of use your web shooter or ODM to travel around the map. And then if you are in a fight, you're able to use the katana and potentially save yourself from fall damage if you get shot out. But also another nice benefit of this will be that your katana won't be on cooldown in the fight. Because if you're using only the katana, it can kind of be tough sometimes if you want to travel around the map quickly to decide, like, do I use all my dashes here? Because then you're going to be vulnerable if somebody shoots at you, right? Whereas if you have double, then you have like your web shooter for traveling. And then once a fight breaks out, or if you need to get somewhere like precisely, the katana is in your inventory and it's full charge. So I think double mobility can be quite good this season. Especially if you're someone who likes using the combat shotgun, you like using the Maven shotgun. If you're able to get your hands on the exotic Maven, I think katana web shooter could be very good. Or if you're just someone who is comfortable using pump red eye, if you get the pulse rifle, pump pulse can be very good. There's a lot of ways to make double mobility work this season. So even if you are someone who loves the katana and you don't necessarily aren't as interested in the ODM, I think double mobility can be a very good and very fun loadout this season. Not only is it fun, but like I said, you don't have to worry about that like situation where like your katana is on cooldown because you were just using it to travel around the map. So I would recommend trying out double mobility. I think it's a lot of fun. And even if you do prefer the katana, I think using the web shooter a bit is a good idea if you aren't someone who used it in the past or used the grapple glove last season. It's a very intuitive item, but I think it's still worth getting used to because you never really know what is going to be in the game next season. You know, we might go back to a season where like we have Shockwave's grapple glove as the mobility items. And if that's the case, you're going to want to already be used to the web shooter. So if you've never used this item before, I would recommend trying it out and getting used to it, just so if it does come back in the future, or if the grapple glove comes back in the future, because the grapple glove is like a toned down version that isn't a collab at all, so it can kind of come back at any time, so you never know when it's going to come back. And I feel like once you kind of acclimate yourself to this item, you'll already be used to it when it comes back to the game. And that's how a lot of items are in Fortnite. If you've played for a while, you know, items come and go, but once you've learned to use an item or learn to use a style of item, it's much easier for you to adapt to it again if it does kind of come back into being the meta. So that is what I think on the mobility items. If I had to rank them, katana would be number one. And then between ODM and web shooter, I feel like they're incredibly similar. I just think the ODM is better because I value the smash attack to be able to destroy cover, be able to destroy bushes, more so than I do the web shooter's ability to pull loot. But it's not like the web shooter is bad by any means. It's just like the katana is one of the best mobility items we've ever had. So that's it for the mobility items, but there also was a minor balance update today, which reduced the structure damage of the heavy sniper. I'll have it on screen now, but the heavy sniper will no longer one-shot every wall in existence in builds, and then in zero build, it won't do as much damage to cover. The heavy sniper wasn't one-shotting every piece of cover in zero build anyways, but it's going to be more toned down now. And then the grenades also got their base damage and their structure damage reduced. So grenades are probably pretty terrible now, but like, be honest, how many of you really used grenades? I never really used grenades. I never really had people use them against me. I think the only time anyone threw a grenade at me, it was that grenade specialist that somebody hired. And the only time I've used them personally this season has been when dealing with the bosses at some of the vault locations. So if you liked nading the bosses at the vault locations, they're not going to be nearly as good as they were in the past. But I feel like outside of that, the grenade change probably isn't going to affect you that much. This update has gotten a lot of negative feedback for some reason, and I really don't get it because, like I said, I don't think the grenades were that popular of an item. And then also with the heavy sniper, it's not going to one-shot walls as much anymore, but it's still going to be good as a sniper. And that's why I don't really understand why so many people are upset, because I feel like what a lot of people liked about the sniper was being able to get one-hit kill headshots, and it'll still do that just fine. They didn't change the damage on headshots or to players. All they changed was the structure damage. So if you liked the heavy sniper as a sniper, didn't change for you at all. Grenades did get hit pretty hard, but I just didn't really think that many people really used or cared about grenades. But that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think the best mobility item in the game is right now, and what you think of this balance update that came out. Are you really mad about it? Because there does seem to be a lot of people mad about it. But I personally don't think it's that big of a deal. I hope you guys found this video helpful or informative. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.